Welcome back. So we are still talking about this presidential pardon, and we've gotten a lot of callers talk about it in different ways. And I had to quickly also look at other countries who are intentional about where they want their people to go, countries who want to do away with any form of corruption, and they have their styles. So let's take, for instance, China. According to their history, they've only had, in the history of China in so many years, they've only had 9 presidential pardons. There was a time for many, many years, there were no presidential pardons. And, it's subject to what the West started talking about them, that, no, you people have to set up, because they don't even have any panel that would, sit on it. There's nothing like that. So it's just on special occasions. Maybe the president just feels like, just gives that presidential pardon. So they've had only 9 in their history, right? And looking at that, I was asking myself, are we ripe for a presidential pardon in a country that we're still trying to curb crime? We're still trying to deter people from criminality. We're still trying to deter people from murder, from many of these things that are against morality. We're still trying to see how we can make our country better. And if we can stand and say, because some of the Asian countries that have been able to do away with any form of drug, like for instance Singapore, if they catch you with drug as small as this, that's the end. You are gone. There's no pardon anything in any coming years for you. Are we ripe for a presidential pardon because we want to curb certain things? Are we just accepting everything the West has given us?
So I'm so happy that you said this. Like it's like, wow, someone finally said it. So you can see how fast and how quick China has advanced.
Sweetheart, I'll take Mrs. Ibrahim and I'll come to you. Good morning, Mrs. Ibrahim. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All thanks to producer wasting our credit to
Sorry about that.
You see, I'm a grandmother, an elderly woman in my late 50s. I quite feel for the families of the deceased. Our children nowadays, their temperament, those that are even complaining about her pardon. Her pardon or no pardon, her children will still come after her. They will still come after her. By the time they grow up and they are being told that their mother killed or murdered their dad, God help her. So it's not like the president pardoned her, but who knows, her children might not pardon her tomorrow in future. So her children may not pardon her, no matter what. The children's family will still express their pain to the children, that's the grandchildren. So Maryam is still not free yet. That is just what I want to say.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Next time she will learn.
Thank you.
Yes. So back to what I was saying. So we can see how fast China has advanced, because for you to be a public officer in China, for you to be a politician, you have to think about it very well. I'm sure your family member will call you for meeting to say, this is your bad character. Are you sure you want to take this position? Because if you do anyhow, you will see anyhow. They don't take nonsense.
Yeah, they don't.
And that's why they've gone so far. And I wish, and every time I always use that, as I say, I wish Nigeria that we can become that strict. But unfortunately,
at least for certain crimes.
But unfortunately, we are where we are, and we are dealing with ourselves. Because when you look at it, when you go to the prisons, there are so many people that have served more than, if they were actually convicted, awaiting trial, they will have served, they've served like 5 times.
Over the sentences.
The sentences, right? There are people that they are wrongfully accused, right? They don't even have money to be able to appeal the convictions. So if you really want to talk about prerogative of mercy and the committee, like for me, I always say the president does not just wake up and then do something. There's always, we have the president and the presidency. And we have the team of people that it is their job and responsibility to ensure that fairness has been done, it's been transparent enough, and that they follow the certain policies and assessment that we're supposed to use to come to this particular conclusion. And then I know that it's easy for us to always say to say the parents or the family of the deceased, but we always also remember that this is not personal, because the crime that was committed against the state and not the family. As in, do you understand? So when they're also taking certain decisions, they're not putting certain things into consideration, because it's now seen as a mercy, because the case is against the state. So we need to also look at certain perspectives in terms of these decisions.
Let's take a call and then I come to you, ladies. Abdulrazak, are you there?
Hello?
Are you there, sir?
Hello?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I've been listening to your conversation regarding this Maryam Sanda's case. I've had a lot of other versions, even this morning, that it's actually Maryam Sanda's in-laws, that the parents of her dead husband that called for this.
Okay.
So that she'll be able to take care
of the children.
Yeah, I haven't said it, and I actually thought of it the first day I saw it. I had it in my mind. It could be in the in-laws that actually called for this, so that you can come and take care of it. But my own grounds with this is, can poor people equally do this thing? People are not connected, who don't know it, because the father of the late husband was one time chairman of PDP. Was PDP chairman, so it's a big political
Was it her or him?
So can this kind of thing also, can poor people who are not connected, also have access to this kind of pardon? Okay, President, our daughter-in-law actually killed our son, but she has 3 young children
for us.
Can you grant her presidential pardon so that we are suffering taking care of the young ones that are very young, less than 1 or no more than 2, 3? Can they also have this kind of Thank you. That's just my own.
Yeah, thank you so much for that contribution. We'll take a short break here. When we come back, we'll take more phone calls and messages. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're still discussing the presidential pardon of Maryam Sanders. And,
so, we've had a few people call in and say, allude to how influential Maryam Sanders' family is, as well as her late husband's, and maybe that played a part in her being, pardoned. That may very well be true, but we also need to understand that there are other ways that people get on this list, and so some people, the inmates themselves write applications. Some people have their lawyers who are constantly on this case. There's the prison authorities, recommend for them to, be pardoned or, be on this list. So there are different ways that you can get on the list. So it's not, the reason I'm saying is it's not just only rich people or influential people that get on the list. Okay. If we look through the 175, there are names that I have seen, names that we don't know them. Someone in Katsina, manslaughter, he has a reduced sentence. So there are different random people, regular average Nigerians that have gotten pardoned based on how they have behaved while while they were incarcerated. Some people have gone out of their way to even further their studies or learn something while they are there. It shows the remorse, rehabilitation has happened. Just so that we don't look at this solely as a list for those who have special privileges, And secondly, we're talking about how many so far. I think the 175 is not enough. I think that would have been a longer, bigger list. And the reason I'm saying that is we have our prison system. We've always talked about it. They overflow. There are just too many people, that have not even gone through the courts. They've just been arrested and then locked up for many reasons. We have read in the papers where different civil service organizations make it their job to go into these prisons, look at different cases, and they always tell us of so many people that have been wrongly convicted, not even properly convicted, who are in prisons, and then we have prisons that are packed full. So for me, I wish we had a list of those ones in particular who should have been pardoned. You know, if you do a proper investigation and then 175 is not enough. Now, for the special cases of this gruesome murder, you know, someone mentioned that it's because it's still very fresh in our minds, and that's why we find it hard to accept. And for me, I feel that that is why we should have been a little more careful with how this was addressed. Because apart from the punishment that this person is serving, it's also a way to serve as a deterrent for many people to come, you know, for many people, for the rest of Nigerians, that there are consequences for some actions. There are some things that you cannot get away from. There are some stories that we tell our children. You see, if you do this, this is how you end up. And then our children hear that maybe, no, maybe not really. Do you understand? So that's why, for me, I feel we could have had a longer list, especially of Nigerians, poor Nigerians, who have been locked up in prison for so long without proper conviction and no one to speak on their behalf.
Okay, so we have a caller on the line, Yakub. Good morning, Yakub.
Good morning, BeeCee. And Sister Anima, good morning. Amaka and Maryam, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
BeeCee, for me, I don't want us to pick a lesson from this case. Especially my own advice go to married people. You see, don't allow anybody to kill you. Immediately you find out that you saw a red flag in your marriage, please pick a race. Whether you are a man, whether you are a woman, leave that marriage. Because if anything happens to you, this kind of a thing will happen. Even though we have president does not pardon this woman, do you know a governor of the state can just wake up one day and pardon her? And then the chief justice of the federation or of the state can just wake up one day and pardon her. And then now, according to the one of the caller, says that the family of the deceased went ahead and said they don't want they are finding problems. It is a lie from the pit of hell. You know why? They have a lot of people that can cater for those children and their family. But this is something that will happen because as a man, you allow your wife to kill you. At the end of the day, they pardon her. As a woman, you allow your husband to kill you. At the end of the day, they pardon him. The life continue. The life continue.
True.
See, that is the message I'm passing through this morning. As a man, don't allow anybody to kill you. As a woman, don't allow anybody to kill you. Pick a race from the marriage. If you say any red flag, God bless you guys.
Thank you. Very wise and sound advice. But there was something, I'll come to you, Nima. There was something Maryam raised which was very important. Said we should have had more people, being pardoned because there are so many people who, many of them wrongly accused, many of them good behavior. There are lots across our prisons who are still languishing there. Babies being born in prison and all of that. So the list should have been extended. But I want to say something that, first of all, presidential pardons are not fair. We cannot find any form of fair. It's like waking up to just offer somebody favor. I can choose to favor you and not favor her, and they will say, why you? So it's not fair. That's one. On the other hand, the responsibility for the choice of the 175 people, who should we put it on? There should have been a committee that reviewed.
There's a committee.
Council of State that reviewed it. So what were the metrics for reviewing it? We should know, because when we watch all these American movies, we see that they have parole hearing. Where you come, you present, your warder will say you have done this. They did all of that. So why did they choose to give only 175? If they had given more to the president, don't you think the president would have signed off on more?
So there are humans
they had
that
a lot
are
of
members of the Council of State. Whether or not there are rules that they must follow, there's always sentiments and biases sitting at that table. And
that's the problem.
The only problem I have, which is not avoidable as well, is the level of access that some of the beneficiaries will have to them.
Okay.
So the families of, whether it's the Sandas that put the appeal, whether it's the husband's family that put the appeal, is the access that is speaking for them. Farouk Lawan was it was a landmark case against, corruption. It was so landmark. I remember my late father then, I was still in an undergrad, and we used to gist about it, say, that man is going to go to prison. That's the end of his career. I felt and said, Nigeria, it's not possible. And I said, he will go to jail. And then he went to jail. My father said, how did you know? I said, because I know that there will be times that Nigeria must do differently. But he's now been pardoned. Does not wipe out his conviction.
Exactly.
it just, means that, he can then have certain privileges like what an ex-convict could not access, he can access. That's what the prerogative of mercy gives him.
It cleans you off.
No, they clean anything. It doesn't clean your
guilt. It keeps your name.
Just gives you
a
form of a level
normal
of
access now.
not full exoneration.
It gives you pardon
from your
consequences
of your crime.
Yeah.
So
you go
an ex-convict, for instance, cannot
live.
go back to politics, cannot do. But with a pardon, you can then try. So
your life is giving back to you then.
Your life is giving back to you, but not totally. So the history of it is still there. It's still a Google search
so it's
away.
not expunged from your
Yes, expunge is the word.
Yes.
So I do not think that the Council of State did this in the right public interest. You know why I say that? When you do it in the right public interest, justice will also be seen to have been done.
Yes.
The fact that there are certain criticisms around this. Remember that Oyo case of the woman who was in the Ministry of Justice Oyo State who had murdered her husband? And she was pardoned by the governor of Oyo State,
Yes.
We sat down like this and said, is it because she's a woman?
Yes.
We asked questions because we didn't think it was fair. But there's a way that she would have served the term. 6 years, it's quick now. People did there 30 years. They never see some. If it was at some point that where our memories of injustices have been washed away with time, we will not go sit down here, they vex. I cannot fault the presidency of prerogative of mercy because I know it is a privilege. It's a way out that it has been put there. And you know why it was a way out? Maka was talking about China. I wanted to respond.
Before you respond on China, we have Izwagbe from Abuja. Good morning, Izwagbe.
This one is my brother.
Your person Izwagbe.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Izwagbe. I come from Abuja.
Okay, welcome, sir.
Presidential pardon, prerogative of mercy, section 175 of the Constitution gives the president the power to do what he has done.
Yes.
Section 165 and 175, people were pardoned. The magical one. But the issue here, just like Maryam said, the list could have been longer.
Yeah.
We realize that there are some people, juveniles, children, who are in jail today just because they stole a chicken.
Yeah.
Just because they pickpocket. And these children who are in those jails are waiting to become hardened.
Yeah.
They are going through an extra way of being tutored into being hardened criminals. I believe the president should have looked at such people with very light offenses, and try to rehabilitate them and bring them out and put them through learning skills.
True.
As for Maryam Sanda, actually the husband was somebody I knew very well. The weekend that man died, the following Monday, we were to have a business meeting.
Oh no.
For which somebody came all the way from London. So it was a very sad one. Just like everybody has said, in relationship we should learn to understand the signpost and know when to say
goodbye.
Honestly, the most hard of all is the pardoning of drug dealers and kidnappers.
Okay.
What kind of message are we sending to the NDLA chairman who has been doing so much job, and those boys who are trying to hold down drug barons and drug addicts? Are we saying that we are rewarding crime? Sentencing is supposed to serve as a deterrent. The way it is now, people out there can go ahead and do whatever they want to do, knowing fully well that in the near future they could as well be pardoned. I don't think it is the best way to go. When we are looking at granting prerogative of mercy, they should look at light cases, people whose cases are very light.
Yeah, light cases. Thank you so much, Izwangwe. Thank you. Thank you for that. We'll take a short break. When we come back, Nima will complete her thoughts. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. Nima.
So I was going to respond to Amaka when we talked about the prerogative of mercy and countries that don't have such legislated prerogative of mercy. And they look at the countries who have it. They are all colonies, former colonies of Britain, where the Queen was legislated to be able to do no wrong. The royals were not, it was impossible to see them as people who committed crimes.
They were seen as gods.
Yeah, any crime they committed, they could get away with it. And so they were the ones who now exercise prerogative of mercy to the titles and the people that they liked. Now that we have brought it into democracy, we are practicing it like this. And our own law, 170, I think it's 175 of this law.
Yeah.
No, let me use the one I know, the 174. That's for the nulli prosequi says it must be exercised in public interest and in the interest of justice. Is for instance that, you know, somebody in the course of self-defense is arrested for murder, tried for murder, and sentenced to, you know, for murder. If you exercise prerogative of mercy, it will still be in the interest of justice because that person was forced to kill to protect someone else or themselves. Even though, you know, in the course of a trial, they were not able to establish their innocence. Those are the criteria that you'll be expecting to hear. I am not saying that what they did for Sanda or the beneficiaries is wrong. I'm thinking, of course, I read some of them. 3 years for mining, you know, some for
drugs.
And all of that. But I'm thinking, why is it impossible to see the interest of justice
in this case?
In the case, we cannot understand, we cannot empathize. That is easy. But the interest, the public interest of this, the interest of justice of this should also be very visible, so that we don't end up, because the royals, the Queen and England were very abusive government. They went into people's countries, displaced people, stole from them, colonized them, and now we are copying a culture of theirs.
It's already
as
in our
laws now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we must now deviate from that method that they use theirs to do better. We must be seen and also to do better. We have a congested prison system.
Yes, we do.
In our country, and forgive me if I am wrong, it is not rehabilitating as we thought when we amended our laws that it's supposed to. A lot of people are there awaiting trial and depressed. They've even served the sentence of the crime for which they are suspected. They've been arrested.
So Nima, you are advocating an overhaul of our constitution.
A total of our prisons, of our accused, of our convicts. So that we don't just end up with 75 people and people that we suspected have been arrested and sentenced for 3 years for mining. Because you know, say, as Maryam talk now, I see the list well. Mining, drugs, fraud. Yes, they were convicted, most of them, for these offenses, and clemency was given to some for this kind of offenses. This is when we must be looking deeper for other serious cases.
Intentional about
that when it comes to public light, we will see public interest and we will rest and say that that's the purpose of the Council of State. So that the president is not signing something and opposition sees something to talk.
I get you. Before I come to Amaka, we'll have Hassan on the line. Hassan from Lekki, good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Please, whatsoever we are going to do, let us see that justice is done.
Okay.
Because this issue of Maryam and other people that were granted this mercy, I don't know where it is coming from. Because what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a president not being thorough before appending his signature or approval of prerogative or mercy. Because somebody was killed, and such a person is a son of somebody, is a junior brother to somebody, is a family member to somebody. Then they now came after 5 years because their family are influential, because we saw the trial. We saw how the mother came up with a lot of things, trying to play around with our intelligence. And now, we saw what even play out now, that she keep on pressurizing up to the extent of getting that prerogative of mercy for her daughter. Her daughter will be working free, quite okay. But you think that she's free? She's not free. And we're encouraging criminality in one way or the other. Not only her. Look at what happened to this one from Kano. Lawan. Look at people like Ibrahim and Co. We are encouraging criminality. We are not fighting criminality. We are encouraging it. Just be influential and just go there 2-3 years. You will have to get your mercy and get out from it. You see, we don't think we can fight criminality by encouraging criminality. We don't do it. It's wrong. You cannot kill. You know, and be hiding under influence of drugs, under this, under that. And people will be writing for you. You understand? To get scot-free. You are encouraging people to begin to take laws into their hands. People will now begin to rethink that, look, since this is a big man, we will take laws into our hands. And Mr. President must sit up. I'm talking personally to my man, Mr. President. I voted for him. I campaigned for him. Don't allow people to be cooking up books for you to be attending your signature. Because people will end up calling your name, not their names. We saw what happened during Buhari's time when there was this even accusation of bribery and corruption in this prerogative of mercy. So as a president, the buck stop on your table. Please be thorough. Look at it. Look at the people
before appending the signature.
Append your signature.
Thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So before I make my point, I wanted to correct something. Like Nima, the prerogative of mercy within the monarchy is not absolute, because we had back in the day the monarchy couldn't just give prerogative mercy. It had to go through the church, through the Pope, and through the church, and everything. So and then they had so many monarchies that were beheaded. They had the ones that were banished and all their lands and titles taken from them. But what I want to say is that, you know, it's easy to talk about Maryam Sanda because we know the case that she killed her husband. Let's talk about issues of all these kidnappers that are killing multiple people, drug lords, the terrorists.
So let me pause you, Amaka. We'll be cutting off to join a live broadcast of the House of Reps Committee on Petroleum Downstream. It's an opening ceremony. Viewers can continue watching your view by scanning the QR code on the screen right now. Thank you.
So we need to also, so I agree with what the caller had said, that, you know, what is the, because part of what they said that was the assessment criteria was old age, people that were reformed, that had gone through the open university, things like that, right? But then I'm wondering, how do these terrorist people, kidnappers that have killed multiple people and all this
become old?
Drug dealers, the ones that are old, are they the ones that were pardoned? Because if not,
maybe they showed that they were remorseful.
Because these are the issues. Because
but let me take this comment from Otuba Benga. He says, "Good morning, ladies. On this presidential pardon, my take is that justice demands accountability. Mercy offers compassion. In a murder case such as that of Maryam Sanda, justice must come first. Life taken deserves consequence, and family of the dead deserve justice. A presidential pardon should be rare, granted only when guilt is acknowledged, repentance proven, and society's trust preserved. Justice without mercy is harsh. Mercy without justice is dangerous. The Council of State and the President must have thought it through before granting the pardon. May God heal our land."
Amen. We have to go. I think we've touched on everything. There was something a caller said which I found important. It says people with lighter offenses should be considered for pardons like this, and I agree absolutely. The people also need to see the public interest of justice. It was Nima that rightly mentioned that. And, you know, the advice is that no matter what the president gets on its table, before he appends his signature, just like Hassan has said, he must be very careful that he's, you know, doing it, because at the end of the day, it is his name that people will call. Let your good not be evil spoken of. And, you know, to the family members of the people who are hurting, we still appeal that God will give them the grace to forgive and let's go. It's happened. No presidential pardon all over the world would ever satisfy everybody. But we also need to be very careful. And then we can start looking at, do we need a presidential pardon in our country for where we want to go to?
The English pardon those people who came and stole from us in Africa.
Yeah,
they pardoned them. They are mercenaries. They sent into the world.
Thank you so much, ladies, for
whether
your
they kill their
contributions.
king, their business.
That's all we can take on the show today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting show. Bye-bye now.